Hi everyone, it's Crystal, and today I am going to share with you guys on how I make these personalized wine glasses. So just my battery's like about halfway or almost close to dying, so I'm just going to go ahead and try and make this quick to show you guys here. So this is what I've been working on, is these wine glasses, and as you can see they have a glittered stem and base, and then I use some vinyl for the names. So there's one. Here's another one. And then here's another one I've been working on. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is tell you guys how I do the stem and the base. And I didn't record myself doing that. I actually forgot. So, and it's very simple. So you can see here, that's where I stop at, or that's where I started at, and then I go all the way down to the base and around the rim. And all I use is some Mod Podge. I put a nice thin layer of Mod Podge on the stem and the base, and then I use some glitter. I use the extra fine glitter. I think you could probably get away using fine glitter. As far as anything else that's more chunkier or coarse, I really don't know how that would work. I stuck with the extra fine glitter because that's what I like to use. So I did a layer of that. After it dried, I took a paintbrush and I just wiped off the extra glitter I had on here. And I decided to go ahead and do another layer of the glitter. So I put another layer down of the Mod Podge, a nice thin layer, an even thin layer. And then I did the glitter over top of that again. So I used 2 coats. There's, 2 layers on here of the glitter. And in between the layers, I left it dry probably about 4 to 5 hours before I put on that second layer. So that was very simple. After I put that last layer on, what I did is I left it dry overnight. And then I wanted to seal it with something so it could be hand washed. I would not recommend using, washing these in a dishwasher. But for hand washing, this should be just fine. So I had to put a sealer on here so, like I said, it could be washed and the glitter wasn't falling off everywhere. And then I also wanted it to have a nice, a very, like a glass filling, a smooth, that's what I was looking for. I wanted it to be a smooth filling so you didn't feel that glitter. So what I used for that was this triple thick gloss glaze. I purchased mine at Michael's, but I'm sure Joann sells it, and I also know that Hobby Lobby sells this too. So what I put 3 thin, and I mean thin, layers of this triple thick on. And in between each layer, I left it dry for 24 hours. Because this stuff is pretty thick, and I don't know, that's just my personal preference. That's what I did. I left it dry, each layer dry, for 24 hours in between, and it came out really nice. I mean, it's nice and smooth, and it's not really bumpy at all. I mean, there's a little bit of bumps in it, but I mean, you can't feel the glitter. So that's what I used there, the triple thick, and like I said, 3 layers, and I left it dry for 24 hours in between. Alright, so now it takes to the part where it's time to personalize the glass part. So here's a pink one I've been working on. This one's mine, well, for me at least. And what I did was I cut my vinyl out using my silhouette. And what you want to do is what they call, I'm assuming it's called a kiss cut. So what basically a kiss cut means, and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. There you go. You could see it, the cut there. So what you want to do is when you cut this out with either your Silhouette, Cricut, or any kind of die cutting machine you're using, you want it to cut just the vinyl. You do not want it to cut the backing sheet. As you can see here, the backing sheet's not cut, but the vinyl's just cut. So that's what a kiss cut is. And now after you do that, you want to do what they call weeding. So you want to take off the vinyl that you're not going to be using, but you want to keep, like in this instance, the letter C, I want to keep down on the backing sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm using just a utility knife, and I'm cutting a slit into the corner here, so it'll make it easier for me to peel this up. You can see right there. And then you just pull it up. And you want to be gentle and you want to be careful because vinyl, I'm learning, is a little I don't know what word I want to use. Finicky to work with, but it does work. And then I just cut another slit in here because I want to pull this out just like that. And then up here, then I have one more layer. You know what? That did not cut all the way through. Hopefully that works. Okay. And then I'll show you here on the pink for where the other part. Just like so. Very easy. I was very intimidated to work with vinyl, but after I start working with it, it's really pretty easy to work with. And there's a lot you can do with vinyl. I didn't realize, you know, all what you could do with vinyl, but there's a lot. Okay, so then once you got that weeded out, you're supposed to use transfer paper to pick up to transfer your image from this sheet to whatever you're putting it onto. I use contact paper. I picked the roll of this up like years ago from Walmart, and it's what's been working for me, so that's what I'm using. So, now, how my name is going to lay on my wine glass, the pink part is going to overlap on the black part. So, in order just to do this in one step instead of two separate steps, I'm going to show you what I do. So, I got my contact paper here. Peel it off this sheet, if I can do that. There we go. And then make sure I got my first part going here. And I use this little tool here, and I just rub over. So I'm transferring the vinyl off of this white backer sheet onto the contact paper. Okay, easy does it. Sometimes you don't have to press that hard, sometimes you do. So you can see here it's on the contact paper. And normally what you could do is you could just go ahead right now and take this and put it onto your project. But what I'm going to do is pick up the initial on here as well, because I sort of want to get an idea like where I want it centered and everything. And for me, I just find it easier to work with it now before I put it onto the wine glass. Okay, then I'm going to get this extra stuff I have over here, so none of my vinyl is hitting my table. And we got to pick up this other C. Perfect. And then the last step to do is to get your wine glass and put it on there where you want it to go. And once you get it on there, you want to go ahead and just apply some pressure. And because this is a rounded surface, you really have to work with it to make sure you don't get no kind of air bubbles and creases in it. That's the only tricky part I have found with this. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, every glass I've done so far, I have creases in it. And I've been trying to work like crazy not to get these stupid creases, but that's just not happening. So what I'm going to do here is cut this bottom piece of the vinyl, hopefully. And it is done. And as you can see, right there, well, maybe you can't even see it. Let me see. I can't even pick it up on camera, but there is a crease in it. Right here. So, once you get working with these and you learn how not to get creases in here, you won't have a problem. But otherwise than that, this is a pretty easy project. I'm really enjoying the way they're turning out. I'm making them for Christmas gifts, so something's very simple. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and join me socially. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and the links are all down below. So until next time guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.